So to mount your saw, you'll need a few items. The saw mount plate, a piece of 1/2-inch plywood, and we will mount that centered between the notches and the end points. 2 spacers that go between the base of the saw and the plywood, cut to the appropriate thickness to level the saw with the gray top rail. A level to ensure that everything is in plane with the back of the top rail. A drill with the appropriate bit for your manufacturer's recommended bolt. And a few wrenches to tighten up your bolts on the saw. To mount your saw, the first thing you need to do is determine the height of the table. And you can either measure that, or certain saws have it shown right on the saw itself. For us, it's 3 7/8. You subtract that number from the height between the top of the rail and the saw mounting plate, which is always 5 1/8. And you'll need to put spacers between the base of the table and the saw mounting plate. So let's take a look at those spacers. There are a couple different ways to do it. We're going to use a piece of plywood to stiffen the mounting plate, and then add spacers that have been ripped accordingly to lift the saw for the correct height. In our case, it's 1/2-inch ply, which is measured less than a 1/2 inch, and we needed 9/16 inch spacers. So we put those on the saw mounting plate, spacing it evenly between the front and back, and left and right. Then we'll put the saw on there. And we'll check that the plane of the fence of the saw is in line with the back rail of the correct cut. So we line that up, pull our saw forward to meet it, and adjust it. It's recommended that you get as close as possible to the rail, so you can cut short blocking more easily. So again, double check that everything is in plane and lines up. Like so. We know that the height is good. It planes through. We confirm that with our spacers of the correct length, or width and thickness. And next, using the saw's manufacturer recommendation, we're going to drill the holes. So let's put in our bolt. Recommend doing it from the underside, and then putting the nut on top. And you want to tighten it down just snug, in accordance with your manufacturer's directions. And also make sure that the bolt does not protrude beyond the nut so that you don't scrape your hands while working. The other bolts have been put in, and you're ready to be